Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly comic book review. That's right everybody, time for the weekly comic book review. It's the show where I read a lot of comic books and I let you know what I thought about them, and we always start with the pick of the week. This week's pick of the week, The Mighty Thor 704, and not just because it rhymed, because this book has been phenomenal. Under Jason Aaron, the writer, under his capable hands, this book has flourished into beyond a must-read, into a must-feel, a must just comprehend. This book is amazing. It's beautiful, beautiful artwork from Aaron Dodderman, highly detailed yet still very crisp and clean, enhanced by illuminating colors by Matt Wilson. Jason Aaron and the others have made a very moving, touching, poignant story about death, about faith, and it really works very, very well. This is the Death of the Mighty Thor story. So is Jane Foster, who is now Thor currently, is she going to die? Somehow we know she's going to pass over the mantle. We don't know if the character's going to die or just her time as Thor, but this story is very, very, very moving. Seriously, a woman battling with cancer, and she has this war with cancer, and she's got this heroism that's inside of her where she wants to do the right thing and make the world a better place. But she can only have one. She can either beat cancer or she can save the world. And it's this tough choice that she makes. And just this book has giant action, the Mangog fighting Odin and Freya and Thor, that's all in there. And then Jane Foster Thor, her crazy decision, what's going on. Some really deep, moving stuff here. Seriously, this is poignant. This is really good. It makes the pick of the week because seriously, drama, character, action, explosiveness, beautiful art, brilliant script. This book has it all. Jason Aaron's Thor epic has been amazing and quite the epic. Kudos to Aaron Dodderman, Wilson, and the gang over at Marvel Comics for putting together such an amazing book. Again, the pick of the week. This Death of the Mighty Thor story has just been the craziest crescendo of what Aaron has been doing. And he's questioning things like faith and belief in God, and it's all tied in thematically with the story, and it's so rich, so dense, so complex in story, and then the art just matches it to boot. It is amazing. Also from Marvel, we have Doctor Strange Damnation #1. So after the events of Secret Empire, Las Vegas is destroyed. This is basically Doctor Strange coming in saying, let me fix this, because he's super powerful now after what's been happening in Donny Cates's Doctor Strange book. This is co-written by Donny Cates, also Nick Spencer, who wrote Secret Empire. So Strange decides he's going to resurrect Las Vegas, and there are terrible consequences that come with that. And this book, the inciting incident happens pretty quick, and some moments seem a little hokey, but it's because it deals with a certain character that comes across as hokey sometimes, but it does set up something really, really cool, and especially cool for fans of things like Midnight Suns, like Ghost Rider and Blade, right? Blade is coming in the pages of this book. Rod Reyes doing amazing artwork. The artwork is crisp, it's clean, not crisp and clean, but it's textured and it's gritty and it's perfectly suited to the tone of the story. I like it. I like this book a lot. It wasn't near as slam bang as I wanted it to be, but it was very fun. The colors are illustrious. Kate Spencer working together, trying kind of fixing. I don't really like it when they do an event like Secret Empire and they do something big and major and then they undo it, right? But at least with Secret Empire, they've given this Las Vegas stuff some time to breathe a little bit, unlike things like Fear Itself, where they saved Paris, they brought back Bucky, they did all that stuff like immediately, right? So at least there's that. Speaking of Marvel events, Infinity Countdown Prime #1 is here. So Jerry Dugan has been over at Guardians of the Galaxy building up this Infinity Stone story, because now that since Secret War, the Marvel Universe has been reformed again, the Infinity Stones are reformed. They're now aligned with what they are in the movies and the cinematic universe. Go figure. Anyway, all that aside, this was actually a really fun book. So Dugan's been building this stuff up apparently in Guardians of the Galaxy. We've all been sleeping on it, so Marvel's wanted to make it a big event. It's Infinity Countdown. Prime is here. This is going to let you know where all of the Infinity Stones are, how they exist now, what they look like, what their new versions of their powers are. There's a big guide in the very front of the book that lets you know exactly what's going on. There's this thing in the back of the book that tells you everything you ever needed to know about the history of the Infinity Gems. If you don't know, there's a crash course in the back. The book itself, though, is really, really cool. Wolverine fans, be on the lookout, because Wolverine's in the book. He's there. Where are all the stones? who has them. Some interesting people have some interesting stones for sure, but I did like this book. Mike Deodato Jr. on the artwork from some of his best work at Old Man Logan. He's carrying on that new tradition here in the pages of Infinity Countdown. The artwork is splendid. It's detailed. The Wolverine stuff in here is great. And like I said, if you're getting tired of these little teasers, these little one-page Wolverine things that really amount to nothing, this is where you're going to get more of your Wolverine fix. He's definitely going to be factoring into the pages of this, as well as the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Nova Corps, the Magus, Warlock, all that stuff. This is shaping up to be a cool, fun, giant, cosmic-type Marvel story. First issue was very, very solid, at least the prime issue. The first issue is next month of the actual series. Talking about beginnings into endings. This is the final issue of Defenders by Brian Michael Bendis, issue number 10, and it's a great little epilogue to what he's been doing in this series, and a nice little epilogue to something that he started in the pages of New Avengers back in the day, where he took that Brian K. Vaughan character of Parker Robbins, the Hood, and he turned him into this major threat to the Avengers, and that kind of gets encapsulated here and wrapped up. This is a nice finish off to these street level characters that Bendis has been working on for the last 17 years. So seriously, Defenders has been amazing. David Marquez doing amazing, brilliant artwork. Justin Ponsor on the coloring. The coloring is great. Lots of cool stuff here. Lots of just kind of like Bendis telling us his final thoughts on Marvel. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like he's wrapping up what he's doing. He says that the final issue of the Spider-Man and the Iron Man are kind of like his final thesis on Marvel. I think this is a part of it as well, definitely on the street level heroes. I've been loving the Defenders. I'm super sad to see it go. There's some of that amazing color work by Ponsor right there, and amazing pencils and artwork by David Marquez. This book has been amazing. We're going to be super sad to see it go, but I'm very excited to see what Bendis is going to do over at DC Comics. Avengers is here, and Avengers number 681. We had some really exciting news recently about Avengers. Avengers number 1 coming in May, I believe, from Jason Aaron, Ed McGuinness, a new team that looks awesome. It's got Odinson Thor. It's got Captain America, Iron Man, She-Hulk. It looks like a really cool team, Black Panther. So really excited about that. A lot of the stuff from Marvel Legacy and the Avengers from 1 billion BC and the big, like, what's going on with all the Celestials and all that stuff. And all that stuff I'm sure will be coming out of those pages. Also, another announcement this week. We'll get to this in the weekly pop culture wrap up. But Donny Cates is going to be doing Venom, because I'm not reviewing Venom this week because I'm done. As soon as the news came through that Donny Cates was taking over Venom, I'm like, I don't have to feel guilty anymore about quitting this book that I don't like just because Eddie Brock's Venom. So I'm super excited for Donny Cates to come on that book. But back to Avengers 681. Avengers right now is a great book. It's really fun. It's a giant, big story involving the Grandmaster, the Black Order from Thanos, you know, all that stuff. So it's really cool. It's a story that finally feels big enough to be an Avengers story. It's weekly, and it's been very, very fun. This issue's got amazing artwork by Kim Jacinto with Mike Perkins, David Curiel on the artwork, of course, Wade Zub and Ewing, of course, on the writing. But the artwork is great, dynamic, explosive, beautiful coloring, a really cool, epic story that is just leading us right up into what Jason Aaron is going to do. Like, this is a great little filler to get us set and primed for the Infinity War movie, for Infinity Countdown, and for what Jason Aaron's going to be doing on the Avengers book when he gets a hold of it in May. But No Surrender has been a great story. It's been fun, and a certain big green monster's coming back, and you get a little bit of the origin of Voyager, but I don't think it's the real origin. I don't think it's the real origin at all. Amazing Spider-Man 796 is here. This book's been making some major waves because people are really interested in this Red Goblin story. What's going on with Norman Osborn? There's an actual story in here, and it's an Agent Anti-Venom story, and it just sounds so weird to say Agent Anti-Venom. I think we need to come up with a better name for Flash Thompson, but I'm glad Eddie Brock is back as Venom, but I'm also glad that Flash Thompson gets to run around and do his thing. So there's a nice little story. It involves the Goblin King. It's cool. This is kind of like a little bit of a setup issue. The stuff that gets set up in here, though, with Norman, that's what's been making these books in the last few weeks kind of jump up in price on the secondary market. So something big's going to happen here again. It's like, it's the first appearance of this, or it's the first appearance of this. Well, this is going to be another one. Oh, this is the first appearance of the idea of this, and I don't know, but I'm very intrigued. Dan Slott's coming to an end on his time at this title. He's jumping over to Iron Man. I've loved his Spider-Man book. I'm really pumped. I love Norman Osborn. Like, I think Octavius is cool, but Norman Osborn is where it's at for me, and I cannot be more excited to the finale of Slott's run with what he's doing with this Red Goblin thing, because it seems crazy, does it not? Astonishing X-Men number 8 is here from Charles Soule. I'm not sold on this book. I really did like it at first. It kept switching artists. I thought maybe they need to keep an artistic vision here. The art is okay. It's doable. There are moments where it looks really, really good and moments where it really doesn't. It's Paulo Siqueira. Charles Soule's script, though, is kind of up and down as well, inconsistent in my opinion. There are moments that are great. Basically, Proteus is back in the story arc. This book it brought back Charles Xavier in a weird form. He's in Phantom X's body. He's acting all super weird and arrogant and just, I don't know how I feel about this book, but it's got some great characters in it. It's got Bishop, it's got Archangel, it's got Psylocke, it's got Gambit. It's got some great characters in it, so I don't know. But the book is not quite selling me. I don't know. And it's mainly because I haven't quite warmed up to this new Xavier yet. Tales of Suspense number 102 is here from writer Matthew Rosenberg. It's a great buddy cop, odd couple type thing with Hawkeye and Winter Soldier. They're on the trail. Someone's killing off Hydra agents and people that were involved with the Red Room. They think Natasha Romanoff, who is the Black Widow, who supposedly died in Secret Empire, they think maybe she has something to do with it and she's out there still alive. So they're on this quest to find out what's going on. Yelena Belova, the other Black Widow, has been in this book, so that's exciting if you're a fan of those days. Marvel Knights, you know what I'm saying? Those were some fun days reading comics. But this book is fun. Matthew Rosenberg's script is great. The dialogue bounces back and forth. Winter Soldier and Hawkeye is such an odd team-up. And it almost makes Winter Soldier less cool because Hawkeye is almost too cool in it. But I do like the dialogue. I do like the pace of it. Travel Foreman's artwork is really solid in some spots. In some other parts, it seems sparse and a little flat. But overall, this is really, really good stuff. It's fun, great dialogue, intriguing story. And it's got an ending that's going to have people scratching their heads and wondering what's going on. From DC Comics, The Brave and the Bold number 1. It's a Batman-Wonder Woman team-up from comic book veteran Liam Sharp. Liam Sharp usually just doing the artistic duties, now taking over the writing duties. The story is solid. It's a very capable, nice start off to a story. What do you call a start off to a story? It's a nice opening into the story. It gets you a good hook at the end a little bit. They haven't quite brought in the Batman Wonder Woman together, but the Wonder Woman characterizations, there's scene here with Steve Trevor, some great dialogue in there. Really good work from Liam Sharp. The artwork is insane. It is detailed, highly detailed, textured, just beautiful, beautiful artwork. Look at that page right there. Not the WonderCon ad, but this one right there. That's beautiful artwork, man. It's just gorgeous. There's Batman, man. He's so veiny, dude. What is he using for his pre-games? Anyway, the artwork is really, really solid. The story is good. Big fantasy fans, you're going to like it. Celtic mythology fans, you're going to like it as well. So it's a really cool book. Definitely worth it alone for definitely worth the price of admission alone just for the artwork, because Sharp is super sharp in this issue, and I apologize for saying that. That was terrible. It's one of those things that's it's seen better before, but as I was saying anyway. Batman number 41 is here from Tom King. I have a love-hate thing with Batman by Tom King. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't. This is one I really, really liked. You got Mikkel Janen's artwork is glorious. It's amazing. This is a Poison Ivy story, and it's got some outlandish, beautiful artwork, an intriguing story, a very simple setup. That's the word I was looking for earlier, setup. A very intriguing story, a nice little setup, lots of questions still to be asked. Look at those pages right there. Janen's artwork is amazing in this. It looks so great, so beautiful. The script is good as well. It's very quick. It's a nice quick setup. We don't quite know exactly what's going on, but it seems like a kind of a big Poison Ivy story, but it was very good. I really did like this issue. Seriously, the artwork, wow, and look at that cover. Whoa. Speaking of amazing artwork, this is Tony Daniel's best work in his career, at least in my opinion. Damage number 2 is here. Number 1 blew me away. It was like the Hulk book we've been wanting for years. It was giant, it was explosive, it was manic, it was crazy. Issue 2 was the same. Issue 2 was just as ferocious, just hyper. It was just amped up like crazy. This book is super aggressive in your face with its action. It's got big, giant, explosive pages by Tony Daniel. The script is really good. It's quick. It breezes right through. The pacing is there. This book is a treat. It's got the Suicide Squad in it, so if you're a fan of them, that's cool. That rendering right there of Parasite blew me away. I really like this book. Seriously. This stuff, this new age of heroes, so far, so good. Damage is Damage is so much fun. If you like comics to be fun, like they should be serious sometimes, most times they should just be fun, right? Damage is one of those books. Very, very fun. Batman and the Signal #2 is here, and it did a really good job of clarifying some of the questions that I had after reading issue #1. I hear that issue 3's got a big, long delay on it. Cully Hamner, though, doing the artwork, doing exactly what he does best. It's really cool, really fun. Like I said, a lot of stuff gets starting to be explained, maybe about the metal tie-in to everything here, how Duke Thomas is involved. There's something happening. We got one more issue left. This is basically going to like reveal something about Duke Thomas and his past, and maybe even why Batman chose him. I think he just chose him because he's badass. I love this new costume. Look at that bike. Oh, I love the new costume. I really like this book. It's fun. It was cool. And like I said, all the questions and concerns I had after issue 1 were really addressed in issue 2, and I'm really excited to see the conclusion, of some of these ideas and thoughts and things like that. Anyway, Aquaman #33. That right there is going to be your cover of the week. I'm pretty sure that's Middleton because he's been doing these amazing variant covers here. Yes, Joshua Middleton's been doing these amazing variant covers on Aquaman. That is the cover of the week. I want that framed like on a canvas. That looks so beautiful to me. It wraps up this whole, down with the crown story or whatever. I haven't been the biggest fan of Aquaman lately. I'm a huge Aquaman fan. The story's just not grabbing me. Maybe just a little too magical, a little too Game of Thrones inspired. I want some superheroics back in my Aquaman and not so much just, yeah, what? Game of Thrones, fantasy, whoa. Anyway, the book's not bad. It's got some decent artwork. Abnett's doing a good job on the script. Riccardo Federici is doing the artwork. It's some really good, clean artwork. The coloring is a little muted at times. I felt it a little hard to see the figures clearly. Just a little muddy because of the coloring, but the artwork is good. It's clean. It's a nice story. It's all right. It's just, I don't know. It's not Jeff Johns, is it? Super Sons #13 is here by Peter Tomasi with artwork by Carlo Barberi. I'm just going to say Barberi. Yeah, Carlo Barberi, art fiber on the inking. Really like this issue. It was solid. It's called The Parent Trap. You got a little bit of Talia al Ghul in there. You also got a little bit of Damian in school with Jonathan Kent, because now Damian goes to school with Jonathan, and it's just as fun seeing Damian be so miserable as you think. Absolutely. Super Sons has been super fun, super cool this entire time, so there you go. Superman #41 is here. It's a story by James Robinson, right? Yeah, and Ed Benez on the artwork. The artwork is solid in this one. It's the conclusion of a 2-part story that started in the last issue that I thought was really cool and really had a lot of cool, complex questions about faith versus science versus moral responsibility. One of these Star Trek type situations, like TNG especially. But I do like it. I did like the artwork a lot. Some beautiful, gorgeous like cityscapes of this alien world. Really cool stuff. Basically, Superman and Son go to this alien world that's about to blow up like Krypton did. They want to save it. They're like, no, we have faith in our God. If this is what's going to happen, it's going to happen. And Superman's kind of battling with this inside and outside. And it's a big, fun, explosive filler issue, which it's still a good story. It's still a good Superman story, especially with Jonathan Kent being involved. It's got some nice stuff in it. It's a really good, solid story. But knowing how limited Peter Tomasi's time is now on this title, it just makes you just go, man, why'd you waste so much time with fillers here, man? But I got some exciting stuff coming up on Superman. And Peter Tomasi, the rumor, right now, Detective Comics. That could be really, really cool. Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Part 2, Volume 2. #4 is here. This book has been super fun. It's basically about Bane goes into the Turtles world. He takes over the Foot Clan, gets some of the mutants like Bebop and Rocksteady, formulates a mix of the mutagen and Venom with Baxter Stockman, and unleashes his hell on the Turtles universe. And it's fun, and it's giant, it's explosive, and it's actually got some real meaty, emotional, moving bits in this book. But it's fun. It's fun exactly like you would think a Batman TMNT book would be. Milk Wars continues with Part 4 this week in the Swamp Thing Cave Carson special. This has been the best one so far. This has been the best one so far. I really did like it. Artwork is cool, odd, surreal, different. Langdon Foss, John Rivera doing the scripting on this one. He's the typical writer of Cave Carson. But I did like this one. I liked this issue a lot. The art is weird and kooky. The story is weird and kooky. Beautiful coloring there. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. And a cool cover that has the multiverse map on it. But the Milk Wars is not my favorite thing right now, but that definitely is the best issue so far. Vertigo has a new book out. Deathbed #1 is from Joshua Williamson and Riley Rossmo. The artwork is solid. The story is really good. I was really kind of nervous about this when I flipped through it. I was like, this looks maybe a little too weird, but I really did enjoy this book. I don't want to show you too much of the artwork because I don't want to spoil it for you, but look, gorgeous colors. If you know Rossimo's artwork, you're going to be familiar with it. Ivan Placencia, the colorist on Flash, is on this book. The colors are amazing. The story is, it's got some twists and it's got some turns, and it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild, and I did enjoy it. So definitely Deathbed might be something you want to check out if you like a little bit edgier fare in your comic book goings. Punk's Not Dead #1 from IDW/Black Crown is here. I wasn't excited to read this book, but I'm glad I did because it was very enjoyable. It's super cool. It's basically about a kid who's haunted by the ghost of Sid Vicious. And he's just as annoying as you think he would be. But it's a really cool nod to punk rock music, I guess. But there's a little bit more involved in that. There's Sid right there in all of his ghostly glory. But the book was actually really cool. It is written by David Barnett and art by Mart Simmons. Really cool. Really cool. I actually did enjoy this book. I haven't liked anything from Black Crown so far. They did Kid Lobotomy and the quarterly thing, a few things like that. But this one was really intriguing. A great hook at the end, an interesting story, a cool concept that I like. And if you're a Sex Pistols fan, you might want to check it out, right? Vault Comics released Songs for the Dead. It did not actually come out this week. I think it came out 2 weeks ago. But my shop finally got our copies. And dudes, I was so excited to read this because Vault Comics has been doing some amazing work. Check out Maxwell's Demons, for instance. This book is awesome as well. This is your sleeper hit of 2 weeks ago. Seriously, if you're a fantasy fan, I definitely recommend that you check it out. It's about a necromancer. She doesn't really know what's going on. She's just trying to do right in this world and gets caught up in all this stuff, and it was really, really great. Really, really good. It is written by Andrea Fort, Michael Christopher Heron, and illustrated by Sam Beck. I love the artwork, crisp, clean. The colors are absolutely beautiful, and those colors are also provided by Sam Beck. Really cool stuff, and like I said, she's a necromancer. She raises a kid from the dead. She tries to go find the guys that killed him and bring them justice, and then some stuff happens at the end, and yada, yada, yada. This book is really, really good. So if you're a fantasy fan, you like necromancy, cool things like that, but it's not super dark. It's kind of light, but it's very fun. It's very serious and tongue-in-cheek. It's got a little bit of humor to it. It's got an adventure, but it's also got mystery, and it's got a little bit of horror in it as well. So that book was awesome. It had it all. Songs for the Dead from 2 weeks ago, but I'm glad I finally got around to it. Hit Girl #1, though, did come out this week. The Kick-Ass books lost me a little bit through. I really liked the one that came out last week. Hit Girl's pretty good too. Not as good as the new Kick-Ass, but this book was pretty good. It's written by Mark Miller with artwork by Ricardo Lopez Ortiz. I do like the artwork. I do like the setup in the story. It's interesting. Basically, now that Kick-Ass has quit, the original Kick-Ass, Hit Girl doesn't have a sidekick because she wants one, and she'll go to no lengths no lengths are too far for her to go to find a suitable sidekick, and so it's about that, and it's pretty cool. But if you're a big fan of Hit Girl in the Kick-Ass world, definitely want to pick this up. Mark Miller does some really solid stuff. Seriously does. This book was a treat. It was very enjoyable. Bloodborne #1 is here. When I first got it, I was like, I'm going to pass on this, and I saw Kott's name, Alesh Kott. I'm a big fan of his work, actually, so decided, yeah, sure, let's check it out. Then my buddy told me it's kind of like based on video games, like spun out of Dark Souls or something like that. I played the Dark Souls board game, which I actually enjoyed that, but I've never played the video game. Not that big of a video game guy, unless it came out pre-1995. But I am glad I read this book because not only is it written by Alesh Kott, it's artwork by Piotr Kowalski, and the artwork is gorgeous. This book was so cool. I don't know anything about this video game, if it is based on that video game, and I enjoyed this book. So if you just like cool, dark, medieval things with really textured, detailed artwork that's cool and creepy, dudes, read Bloodborne from Titan Comics. It's actually pretty solid. I was surprised. Speaking of Alesh Kott, his James Bond book, The Body, #2, is out this week. I liked it. It's kind of neat. I think that what he's doing is like, the first issue was about the wounds to his body and how he used his body to like stop someone, and this one's more about how he uses his brain to figure out information from someone. So it seems like each issue is going to spotlight a part of the body, I guess, and kind of have that as a theme. So that's neat, but it's basically an interrogation that Bond has with this woman who has sold terrible chemical weapons to a terrorist organization, and it was very intriguing and engaging, and it's one of those things that makes you think. So that's interesting. A James Bond story that makes you think, wow. They do that in the comics, including this one. James Bond M is a one-shot written by Declan Shalvey with artwork by P.J. Holden and Gabriella Kelly doing the coloring. This book was awesome. It spotlights M, James Bond's boss. It's a nice little story that harkens back to some troubles that they had in the UK and Ireland and all that stuff. There's a haunting sense of the past to this book, a haunting sense of M's past. but it was a really good tale. Really good tale, absolutely. If you've ever been interested in checking out the James Bond stuff, this is one of those one-shots, and they do these one-shots that are just really, really good. Just pick this up and read it. It's M, and it's awesome. It was so good, a very good story. I liked this one a lot better, actually, than The Body, though I did think both of these were awesome. I don't read every Bond book, but when I read a Bond book, I highly recommend it because I think they're good when they are very, very good. Over at Image Comics, Ice Cream Man #2 is out this week. #1 blew me away. I thought it was awesome. It's kind of like a horror anthology thing tied in with this creepy, weird Ice Cream Man dude, and issue 2 was just the same. It was great. A nice story. Made me feel some feels. It really, really did, but it also had a great hook, great stuff. I love this book, absolutely. It is written by W. Maxwell Prince with art by Martin Morazzo and Chris O'Halloran coloring it. Chris O'Halloran is an amazing colorist. I'm going to try to show you a page that won't give away too much, but beautiful colors, nice artwork, great story. I really like it. I'm sold on the concept of this. You can't show too much, but look at those colors right there. Absolutely. Ice Cream Man was awesome. Ice Cream Man was great. If you didn't get it, there is a second print of #1 out right now. You should have no trouble finding it, hopefully. Ice Cream Man was awesome. Descender is back, by the way, speaking of Image Comics, and awesome. Descender #27 is here, and it's the start of a brand new story that they are calling Old Worlds, where they're going to reveal who the Harvesters are, where they came from, what's up with them. It's awesome. It takes place 4,000 years ago. The story is a great setup into unraveling this mystery that we've been holding on to for 26 issues. Descender, I hear, is coming to an end pretty soon, but it's going to be a very satisfying ending because this book has been amazing. Jeff Lemire is the writer. Dustin Nguyen is the artist. Does these amazing, beautiful watercolor type things. Great, great issue. Seriously, read Descender if you don't already. This is the best sci-fi space opera in comics right now, in anything almost right now. This book is amazing. It's got rich layers to it, and now, like I said, this big mystery of who the Harvesters are, we're gonna find out, and it's awesome. Hellboy and the BPRD 1955 is here with one-shot Burning Season. This has been the best one-shot out of all of these Hellboy and the BPRD ones. The Hellboy and the BPRD, they're fun. They're fun, good little quick Hellboy stories, but they don't really quite feel as haunting as some of the Hellboy stuff that Mignola does solo feels, right? But this one really did, and it was great, and I liked it a lot. Chris Robertson helping him write it. Paulo Rivera doing the artwork. Does not hurt, does it? No, it does not. The artwork is great. It's a nice little story. Super cool stuff. If you ever wanted to check out a Hellboy book, and you never had because you were scared, don't be scared. Pick that up. Burning Season, really, really good. Quantum and Woody, #3 is here. First of all, I loved Quantum and Woody back in the day, but I fell out of it. I came back for these crazy cool 90s vintage covers. That's actual foil from 90s. That was probably made for Secret Defenders #1 or something like that, right? So I came for those covers, and I'm staying because this book is amazing. Seriously, Daniel Kibblesmith is doing a great job writing this story. This is so cool. Apparently there's been this goat. There's this mystery about what happened with the goat. They reveal that in here. So it jumps away from what has been going on in 1 and 2 to tell us an untold story from a little bit before. But that's okay, because this book had all the feels, had all the action. It was awesome. It had a guest artist, Francis Portela, with Andrew Dollhouse on the coloring. Really good artwork, really good story, really good layouts. Fantastic book. And the foil cover, absolutely. Was this not a giant week for comics? Oh my goodness, I've been reading all day. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #24 is the last one I want to talk about because I finally got caught up on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and I'm so glad I did. Shattered Grid is coming, and I am hype. This story has been amazing. Lord Draken is a great villain, probably the greatest Power Rangers villain underneath Lord Zed, because Lord Zed's just Lord Zed, right? But this book has been really fun. What they're building up to, this big Shattered Grid story that Kyle Higgins has concocted. It's going to be a crossover between this one and Go-Go Power Rangers. It's going to have all the Rangers from all history there, even Rangers we haven't even met yet. All kinds of crazy cross-time, space, dimension stuff. Man, for a Power Rangers fan, that's just super cool, right? Super cool. Kyle Higgins has been doing an amazing job on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm sad that I fell out. And also, the variant, you know, I tripped out over the Ninja cover. The Phantom Ranger action figure cover. They're blowing me away with those things. Absolutely. So that's what I read. That's what I thought about it. What did you read? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. I love talking to you guys about comic books. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And next week, The video is going to be a little bit late. I would expect it Wednesday night, maybe even Thursday morning. I am leaving Tuesday to go out of town to see Noel Gallagher, one of my absolute favorite musicians ever. So I'm super excited to do that, and I'm glad I had that opportunity. Unfortunately, the comic book review is going to be a little bit late, but it is going to be here. So just be patient. I promise you guys it's going to be here. So thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Be sure to check us out at popculturephilosophers.com. Podcasts, blogs, top 5 lists, a whole lot more is over there and here on YouTube. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're in town, coming to the Huntsville Pop Culture and Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, Kevin Sorbo, Mark Bagley, Austin St. John, Johnny Young Bosch, and a whole lot more people, Fabian Nicieza, John Beatty, Mike Zeck. Seriously, guys, big deal going on here in North Alabama. PCP, Pop Culture Philosophers, we will be there. Dance Panda Comics is going to be there too. So Lance, thank you for the shirt. Shout outs to you. Seriously, if you're in town, if you're in the area, come see us. We got a panel Saturday at 3. It's going to be fun. I'm also hosting a panel talking comics with the pros with Mark Bagley, Fabian Nicieza, Mike Zeck, and more. So come and check us out. Looking forward to seeing you there. And if not, like I said, just give us a like and we'll see you next week. And later on this weekend for the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up and Movie Monday, all that jazz. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading.